All right, so let's start off with this. Someone sent me a video of like the whatever podcast and like Candace Owens and all that nonsense, and we weren't super interested in sitting there listening to other people talk about this, but apparently conservatives are having a meltdown over this. This is Matt Walsh posted this. You like Matt Walsh?
No, I don't. I think he's stupid, and I don't understand how people could talk to him seriously and think that he's being genuine.
He's not.
No, I know he's not, and that's why I like when you watch his videos, I just cringe out in the chat the whole time because there's people that think that they're like getting through to him and having like an honest conversation, and I'm like, wow.
Yeah, no, it's never gonna happen. Well, I think the biggest exposure for him was when he did that whole like "What is a woman" video, and then he went on to Joe Rogan and he was like, yeah, there's like millions of kids that are on hormones. And Joe Rogan's like, there's like 5,000 in the past 3 years. And he's like, oh, well, I still think it's like a million. So it's like, obviously, if you don't, I feel like that if you don't know that information, then you obviously aren't genuinely engaging in the conversation about trans people. And then your video obviously is not going to be intelligent in the slightest.
No, and that's the thing. He's just another person who talks and people listen to him. And it's unfortunate, you know?
Yeah, true.
He doesn't actually.
Well, I think he thrives off of the lack of education in America. And that's why conservatives are so against education, because then they'll be smart enough to realize that there's nothing of value out of the modern day Republican Party.
I have like a hot take that's not related to this, but I'm wondering if like part of that, like the trend is that also conservative people are typically very religious as well.
In what way?
I guess like there's no actual like proof of like what they believe in. You know what I mean?
So you're saying, and listen, I respect. You know, I respect.
I'm not trying to say it disrespectfully.
No,
but I'm like,
I
oh, that kind of makes sense.
My family is relatively conservative, but their relationship with like God is like they believe in God and they understand its existence, but then they also understand that there's no factual foundation. It's very faith-based, and they respect people's faith, and that's why a lot of my family that are conservative, when they see a trans person, they're like ignorantly affirming.
Yeah,
they're just like, yeah, you know whatever makes them happy, kind of thing. I don't get it, and
yeah, like they're not going to be disrespectful.
Yeah, and I think that's perfectly reasonable. Like they don't. It's not that they don't care, but it's like, hey, you do you. I don't get it, but like I respect that you're not hurting anybody, kind of a thing. And I think that that's perfectly fine to have. And I'd like to think that the average conservative's like that. But then also, this is a New York conservative perspective, which is obviously going to be more liberal or more left leaning than like a fucking Alabama conservative. But like I like the concept of God. I like to believe there's a God. It's hard to because of everything getting worn down. But the reality is there's no actual proof that God exists. And so if you require zero evidence for God to exist, maybe that's why you require zero evidence for your other beliefs.
Yeah, like you're okay just taking the person that you respect for their word.
Yeah, and like not
that's
actually,
what I mean by it. But it's interesting, you know?
Yeah, no, I think that there could potentially be a correlation between those two.
So anyways,
he's gonna be on like Dancing with the Stars, which whatever. People are getting upset about it. Like I've been trying to take your approach, where like just don't engage with it. It's obviously a bad idea. This is somebody who's run defense for slavery. He said that like oh, there's good things to learn from slavery. Like that's his take.
My question is, why is he going to be on Dancing with the Stars? Like, what is he on that people know him for? Because I know him from you watching his videos.
Yeah, he's pretty big on YouTube and in the Daily Wire and stuff.
Oh.
Yeah, he's a pretty big
like the general public knows of him?
Well enough. Yeah, they know him well enough. So, but whatever, it is what it is. I mean, I probably shouldn't give too much
It's
attention.
Just crazy. I like don't know who anybody is. You know?
Yeah, that's probably a good thing.
Yeah.
But anyway, let's get into this. So he said her life doesn't revolve around her family and kids. So instead it revolves around TV shows and pop stars. Worst of all, she's too stupid to realize how depressing this is. Like, okay. So I'm assuming this is going to be a big nothing burger. But let's see what we got here.
It's 10:45 a.m. on a Saturday. I am 29 and single, and I don't have kids yet. Here's what your Saturday...
So right off the bat, I know that I like to pause frequently. But her saying I don't have kids yet means that she seems to be moving towards having kids.
Yeah.
People are having kids later in life, you know, for multiple reasons. I think like some of those are economic stressors. Some of those is because we live in like a country where there's a lot of other things to focus on. It's not, you know, we have a lot of money in general. So maybe people like to spend a little more time doing that. I want to have kids. I'm for having kids. We should have kids. But if you don't want to have kids, I'm not going to sit here and shame you for not having kids. Your freedom.
No, that doesn't make sense either, because like if you don't want to have kids, why would I want you to have kids? You know?
True. We already have enough people who don't want to have kids having kids, and their kids, they hate their kids, and you could tell, and those people grow up to be miserable. So
morning looks like when you're single at 29 and you don't have a kid running around the house. I didn't rise from my bed until 10:15.
Wow. I got up at 1 in the afternoon.
But can I tell you, I
got up at 10, at like 9, and then I fell back asleep.
She's gonna go on to explain the rest of her day, but I was thinking about that when I went food shopping. I was like, wow, in the future, I will probably have to manage having a child in this wagon.
Yeah,
when I
it'll be fun.
I'm trying. But if I go food shopping alone, I was like, holy shit! Like, what do you do? Like, I guess you put all the food in the car, then you have to wheel back the wagon with the baby in it. Then you got to carry the baby back, because I can't just leave that bitch like in the car. You know?
Yeah, true.
Crazy.
Well, we just go shopping together more often. So there you go. There's your solution.
And I thought, I should probably get up and do something. I thought, why? Nobody's making me. I'm not missing out on anything. I went to Beyonce last night, and I didn't get home until 1 a.m. And I danced.
Well, then obviously you're going to sleep in. You didn't get home from Beyonce till 1 a.m. Okay.
Danced and drank my little heart out, and I didn't pay a babysitter to watch my kids as I did that. And I woke up a tad hungover this morning.
Well, if you had kids, you just wouldn't go to Beyonce, and you'd just save money not going to Beyonce's concert. I don't know why.
I'd give our kids to our mothers and then go to the concert.
Went to Beyonce. That's how I'm speaking about it. Very interesting. Yeah, we do have mothers to give the kids to. That's true. They'll love the kids. I think they like that they only have to deal with it temporarily and say give it back for the worst moments.
Exactly.
That's what's being a grandparent's about.
Morning, which is probably why I was in bed for so long. And I was just scrolling on my phone, and I saw a picture of shakshuka, and I thought, it sounds really good.
It's just food. Shakshuka.
Okay.
I don't care what kind of food.
Maybe I'm going to learn how to make shakshuka today, because I have no plans, and I don't have kids, and I don't have a husband, and I don't have errands to run. I can go to the grocery store and learn how to make shakshuka. So that's on.
What are you going to learn at the grocery store? Go to the library, learn how to make shakshuka, or YouTube. Okay, sorry.
My agenda today. Also on my agenda, probably a rewatch of some Real Housewives of New York.
Okay.
I'm also doing a rewatch of Normal People on Hulu, which is really spicy and I highly recommend. Weirdly, I'm into this documentary on Netflix about blue zone countries, so I've got a pretty stacked day. Anyway, I say all this to say, whenever I'm hard on myself about why I'm not married and
I'm hard on myself.
Come on.
Kids, and I should be further along at 29, almost 30. I wouldn't want to do anything else this Saturday. And I know that you can do all these things when you have kids and you're married.
To be honest with you, some of this sounds like a cope.
I'll give my thoughts.
Okay.
Married, and I understand, but the effortlessness and ease of my life, just kind of focusing on myself and the shakshuka I want to make or the Beyonce concert I want to go to, really pays off when I'm hard on myself for not being where society tells me I should be in life.
Okay, really quick. Thank you so much for the $2. Hey y'all, big fan from AKJ. Big fan. We need a theme song? That's interesting. We'll talk about it. I think.
Yeah. If you have like a Instagram or something, DM us.
Yeah. Thank you. That'd be interesting. What do you think it would be like? Among us, Among us, Among us balls.
Among us balls. Okay. See, this is what I was saying. He could sing and it's okay, but once I start, it's over.
No, I'm not like disappointed you. I'm surprised that you like fed into it. You didn't go like you're an idiot. I thought you were gonna say I'm an idiot.
I was trying to think of something better, but I didn't.
Yeah, no, that was good on the spot. Sometimes just getting something out immediately is better than it being perfect because it's just about the quickness. It's so fun.
Yeah. So here's my thoughts on the video we just watched.
I thought it was just a big cope, and I don't think it matters, and like I don't care.
Yeah, I think that cope has like a negative connotation.
Yeah.
When I don't think that this is like negative.
Mm-hmm.
I think that I don't know, maybe it's because I identified with this video.
Okay.
That like just like being in the moment and stopping like beating yourself up for what like you haven't accomplished or aren't doing yet.
Okay, interesting.
Because there's some things that are out of your control, and instead just focusing on like these are the privileges that I have right now because I'm not in those situations.
Yeah, I didn't think of it like that. I didn't think of it like, hey, because she did allude to having a lot of stress associated with not feeling adequate and feeling where she's supposed to be in life. And I just like I'll show her TikTok for people who want to look. And she, and then like she's just like, yeah, you know what, I'm doing okay in my life.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Actually, I
like we have our own thing. Like, what are we doing in November?
Disney.
We're going to Disney. And why are we so excited? Because it's going to be the last time we're going for a while. Yeah. Why is it going to be the last time we're going? Baby. Because we're going to try to have kids.
We're gonna have kids.
And I'm so excited to have kids. But when we have kids, we're not going to be able to go to Disney.
It's a money thing.
As often.
Well, you know what?
And we're not going to be able to go to Disney in the same ways.
You know what? Next year, we'll be rich. Podcast is going to take off to the moon. It's going to go boom.
It's not about being rich, though. It's just about the thing. So I think that...
Shut up. I'm just kidding. I love it.
Like, Matt Walsh is obviously a crybaby bitch.
Well, yeah.
And, like, there's nothing to talk about, like, from his perspective in this video. Like, that's fine if a 29-year-old that's not married and doesn't have children yet is undesirable to him. But, like, no thank you to being desired by Matt Walsh, you know?
Damn. True. Jesus Christ. You're so mean in such like productive ways. It's incredible. Jesus Christ. I agree with that. Wow. I agree with that. I like when I watched this, I was like, oh, this is a cope. Like, and I guess part of me was like, oh, she's glorifying not having kids, and I don't agree with that because I think everybody should have kids. But at the same time, who really cares? It's like you said, it's her just saying, hey, I feel inadequate in some ways, and but you know what? I'm good enough. I'm doing well in my life, and there's parts that I can enjoy. I'm just like, okay. It's not a big deal. But his title of like her life doesn't revolve around her family and kids, so instead it revolves around TV show pop stars. Worst of all, she's too stupid to realize how depressing this is. I think that's like the point, is to talk about her depression in a way that's not glorifying her depression. She's not like, guys, I'm so sad. She's like, you know what? I'm feeling insecure about some things, but you know what? I'm going to focus on the positives.
I just don't understand why it's depressing to be like, oh yeah, I went to a concert last night for like a really cool artist, and today I'm gonna learn to cook something new that I've never done before.
Yeah, that's true.
Like that's what's crazy. Why is that so depressing?
Can you believe that a conservative is shaming a woman for learning how to cook?
It's only because it sounded like an exotic meal.
Oh, you know? Yeah. If it was like, I cooked hamburger. Yes, hamburger. Shashuma, I don't like whatever country that's from. Whatever the, you know, that.
No. And it involves around TV shows. What do you think parents do when they relax?
Yeah, they're watching TV shows. And well, I mean, Matt Walsh is effectively like, he basically just like pop star politics. So for him to even criticize pop, like that's all he talks about is either trans people in a way where he doesn't understand trans people, or it's pop stars. Like I can go to his page right now and I can fucking guarantee you it's just gonna be, oh look, Drew Barrymore. All right, so acting like you're not obsessed with like Colin Kaepernick. It's just obsession with like dumb bullshit that nobody cares about. You know, it's like half politics, half fucking whatever media nonsense. So yeah, I mean the segment was interesting. We wouldn't have talked about her if there were people exploding. It's not that big of a deal. Like, the conservatives are melting down. It's just like this weird shame festival. Like I said, I think that you should work towards having a healthy, positive relationship, because you need a good relationship before you have a kid, or else your kid's going to grow up miserable. Trying to find that. Make sure if you're in your early 20s, early to mid 20s, like, you know, focus on trying to get in a relationship without forcing it. Because, you know, those are your formative years. You want to make sure that you're practicing dating. That doesn't mean you have to commit and settle down, but like casually date. You can date multiple people. You don't have to have sex with them. And then by the time you're, you know, late 20s, maybe 30, you should be in a space where you can find a healthy relationship. And then get married and have babies. That's what I think you should do, but you don't have to. Do whatever you want. So yeah, that's it.